Hey, Arwen.Noid here. I'm here to talk to you about why I quit smoking weed. And this isn't me saying, like, don't smoke weed, it's not a good thing. I'm just explaining my experiences and why I don't smoke weed anymore. It's been almost a month now since I've completely given it up, and holy shit, what a difference. But anyways, I'm gonna do this in a little bit of a structured way, so let me just pull up my funky little list here. I wrote it all down. So yeah, first of all, one, why did I smoke? Well, I went through a pretty rough patch. I was pretty depressed at the time and I had a lot of difficulty eating. My anxiety and depression just really destroyed my digestive tract. I had absolutely no appetite. I'd eat like half a plate of food a day. And that was just brutal. Hi, honey. And it just not healthy. Like you could like see the cavities of my eyes, and it sucked. I hurt all the time, and it just my lady time. Don't even get me started on that. Like that could be a whole other video. But it was hell a lot of the time. So I decided to start smoking weed again. Now. Two, how did it help me? Yeah, for one, it allowed me to eat, and it helped me really disconnect from a lot of the negative shit in my life, and it really did kind of help me feel better at the time, and I feel like it really, really did help me, and it helped me drink a lot less. I definitely had an issue with drinking. I was drinking way too much every day, like a 6-pack of 7% cider, a bottle of wine. That adds up. It's very expensive and it does a little damage. It doesn't make you feel good. Don't do it. Don't do that. That's one thing I'll tell you. Don't do that. Anyways, it really evened a lot of things out for me at the time, but at the same time, it really brought me out of the situation, which was good at the beginning, but over time it's not always so good when you've got a real life to take care of. Anyways, how did it hinder me? Well, here I've got it clouded my head. Yeah, if any of you guys have smoked weed like all day, every day, you know where it doesn't even feel like you're stoned anymore, but you're definitely a lot slower, your head is a little more clouded, you're a bit more distracted. That's at least how I felt, and like, it felt normal to just be fucked up all the time. And it's not. I mean, most people aren't just fucked up all the time. And it definitely hindered my ability to do a lot of things, you know? I could drive like that, I could do my work like that. I mean, I was a cam model, so I mean, you log in, you make videos, and a lot of that stuff you can do fucked up, and a lot of people won't really care. And in fact, I actually had like tip options so that people could have me smoke. So like I was getting paid to smoke. I know that sounds amazing to some of you guys, but it really enabled a lot of issues, and it's just really not a good thing in the long term, especially when it's like tip, 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 and it's like smoke, 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 and you're just like, whoa, fuck. And then you gotta pay attention to the room, you gotta try and be entertaining, but you're really just a huge fucking drag. I mean, some people are into that, but at least I don't know, I feel like I definitely wasn't the ideal cam model when I was stoned all the time. I definitely made a lot more money when I was an alcoholic on cam, getting paid to drink than getting paid to smoke. Huge difference. Huge, huge, huge difference. It actually ended up turning on me, and it started making me feel physically ill. So like every morning I would wake up feeling so incredibly nauseous. Sometimes I would actually just straight up puke. And then I'd smoke, and then it just would hardly make me feel better, and it was not fun at all in any way, shape, or form. And I started noticing this especially over the last year. I smoked pretty consistently for about 3 years, and like 30 tokes a day kind of consistently, and it really fucked with me. And I'm really glad I quit for that. But oh man, just feeling sick all the time. And then having this, like, you know, you come up with excuses for yourself. Like, oh, this is helping me. Like, oh, weed helps people. And, you know, just smoking. Be like, oh, I gotta smoke. It'll make me feel better. Oh, it'll make me feel better. It'll make me feel better. Well, no, it doesn't always make you feel better, even if it's a strain that's supposed to. Because it certainly started hurting me. And I would get these horrible headaches, and I feel like my body was just like, it had so much THC in it that it was just like a part of me, and if I didn't have it in me, I just, ugh. And then, oh man, the next thing is it made my anxiety so much worse. And I didn't even notice it until I quit, which is something I will talk about a little later in the video. But I was anxious all the time, like shivering anxiety. You know, I had to go grab another toke. I had to do another thing. Like the actual just action of grabbing the bong, you know, tapping in the weed, lighting it, just everything. It just became such a ritual that, like, the habit of just smoking in general was addicting. Like whenever I'd go out for a walk, I'd have a joint with me, or I'd bring the pipe with me, and like I just always had it on me, and it was always something that I had to do. And it turned more into a hindrance, being reliant on it. Like if I didn't have it, I would feel really sick, or I wouldn't be able to eat. And then another thing, over time, it really started hindering my appetite too. It was really weird because you wouldn't expect weed to not make you hungry. And like I went to a dispensary and I got weed specifically for it. Like I got chemo weed and whatnot. I got a lot of strains that are supposed to make you incredibly hungry, and my body was just like rejecting it, like completely reject. I probably just smoked way too much weed and my body's like, slow the fuck down. But yeah, no, it became a huge problem because it was hard to just taper down with my anxiety making me just want to grab another bowl. Oh my God, smoke more. Like, just do it. The action of it was just so therapeutic in a way, but then it just physically fucked me. Obviously, it made me lazier. You know, I mean, I didn't want to do a whole lot, and I felt like garbage all the time, and I was just like, I'm really stoned. You know, maybe I'll just I'll work on something a little later on, or like the cat litter box wouldn't get done in time, or I didn't feel like cooking, even though I love cooking. It's like a huge passion of mine, and I just like, you know, get like takeout, or I'd get like frozen food and just heat it up or something. It wasn't good for me. And there's just so many different things coming together that just sucked. So there's another thing that it hindered me on. I'm just trying to think if there's anything else that I don't have written down. That's the majority of it. I mean, you know, I guess it's expensive, so I mean, buying all that weed all the time was a problem. Me being a clumsy little idiot, I broke a couple of the bongs, and I like, not super expensive rigs, like I wouldn't go out and buy like multi-$1,000 rigs, but you know, like at least like few $100, $300 rigs. And it adds up. I mean, I've probably spent over $1,000 on rigs, and that's money well, I mean, the one bong I haven't broken yet I can probably sell, but I mean, there's some money I'm never gonna get back, right? And that's fine. That's fine. At the time, it helped me. I felt all right about it. That's money that I spent, and that's okay. I'm not beating myself up over the money that I spent because there's no point, really. Alright, and why did I choose to quit? Well, the reasons that you just heard. But yeah, not being reliant on something. It is such a problem to have to, like, if you go somewhere, like, you have to plan the weed for it. Like, if I go on vacation for a week, like, not that I've been on vacation for fucking 7 years, but like, if I was to do that, it would be a major problem because I wouldn't have any weed. And I wouldn't want to just go around asking sketchy people like, hey, can I buy some drugs off you? Like, that just doesn't sound like something that I want to do. So there's a really great thing. Money, yeah. My lungs, oh my gosh, another reason. Like, I love singing and I've got a pretty decent lung capacity, but with all that smoke going in your lungs, I mean, it's not cigarettes, but still smoke going in your lungs. There's still a layer of crap on your lungs. It's still not amazing for you. And in the following weeks after quitting, I was coughing up like foam. Like, my lungs were trying to clean themselves out, and it was just so gross and it hurt, and I basically lived off lozenges for like 3 weeks. And holy crap, that was a process. I guess through quitting, yeah, how I feel now and the process of quitting, the withdrawal-y feels. All right, so I smoked a lot of weed, and so I came to this conclusion that I was going to stop. And so I still had a bunch of weed. I had a jar with like this much keef in it. And I was like, shit, I don't want to just like sell it because it's kind of old, and I don't know, I was still sort of holding on to that last teeny bit of denial. I still wanted to smoke. And I didn't want to just cold turkey, because I've seen people cold turkey weed and they look like trash and they look like they're going through a horrible time. So I didn't really want to do that. So I smoked the last little bit of weed. I tried just smoking 4 times a day, which was really, really hard, especially when I went on cam, because I was just so anxious on cam. And I would feel like, oh my god, I need to do something. I feel really weird. And so I would just grab a toke and I'd smoke like 6-10 bowls that night, and that made it hard. But then I ran out of weed and I cleaned out my bong. I cleaned it, I sanitized it, I did everything, I put it away, and I just had my little pipe, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna smoke keef through a pipe. That's not gonna be the most enjoyable, and it's gonna help me be like, oh, this isn't as fun. So I whittled down through all of my keef, oh my god, for the last like month and a bit, trying to just sort of taper down, and wasn't the easiest. I was getting down to my last little bit of keef, and I was thinking to myself, like, wow, this is really it. I'm actually really giving up a big part of my life that I've had for the last few years. And it was almost like surreal. Like, I was excited for it to be done. I wanted it to be done, but I wanted to finish it. And I did. I had that last bowl, and it was very uneventful. And then I woke up the next morning like, shit, I don't have any left. And so I tried putting everything away, and I didn't want to deal with it anymore. And I'm very happy that I did. Following that, my symptoms, I didn't really have much of an appetite at all for the first 2 weeks of quitting weed. And like just before, because I was only smoking a little bit every day, I was eating so much. I feel like when you smoke less weed, it makes you more hungry than when you smoke a lot of weed. I noticed that for sure. Like, if I was smoking twice a day, I would just eat half the fridge, and it was great. And I gained a bunch of weight, and I felt great about that. But then quitting weed, I lost like all that weight I gained, and I feel really horrible about it. But it's been almost a month, and I am starting to get my appetite back. I just ate an entire plate of veggie lasagna, so I'm very proud of myself. That shit's delicious. It just was so much food, but I managed to get it all down, which is a huge accomplishment for me. I've had so many eating issues over the last, I don't know, 5 to 10 years almost. But yeah, I'm really, really trying to normalize myself and just, be a normal human. Drink more water, drink less alcohol. Like, I'm down to just having a drink a week, which is really good for me considering I used to have like 6 drinks a day plus a bottle of wine for months straight. Don't do that. But my goal really was just like to try and normalize myself, because I definitely had major issues with myself and I was looking for an escape, and it was like one of the few escapes that I could bring into the 24/7 aspect of my life, rather than just, you know, sitting down and playing video games for 5 hours straight every single day or more. But I had this vision where like my mind is in a much better place. I'm happy, you know, I'm living in a house now with an amazing boyfriend. I've got awesome, gross little pets that love me. And I've got a career that I love, and there's just so many things that are different from when I started. And I really felt like everything could just be fine if I quit. And so I gave myself that chance, and I'm really happy that I did. My memory is starting to get a little bit better. My thinking skills are starting to get a little bit better. I'm slowly evening out to feel sort of like a normal human. The first few days, I definitely craved smoking more. And it wasn't even so much the weed as much as it was just the aspect of it. I was thinking like, maybe I'll just order CBD and smoke that. But then the more I thought about it, it's like, I really need to kick this habit. I need to not want to smoke anymore. Like, I don't want to take anything into my body that makes me feel different. I want to be sober. What an amazing thought is that, right? Sobriety all the time? What? Most of the time? It's definitely not something everybody has to go through, but some people do. And the first few days quitting, I watched so many I quit weed videos, and it just like really made me think like I made the right choice. Like, look at all these people. They look so much better. Like, another thing, holy crap, my acne on my cheeks has gone down a lot. Like, a lot of things have gotten better. The bags under my eyes are significantly less, even though obviously I still have some. Everybody does to a degree. But like, things just felt so much better. Like, food tastes better now. I have more interest in doing things. I get up and, you know, I'm making like daily videos. I'm actually working on multiple projects every single day, but focusing one at a time. My anxiety is down like 90%. I don't get the jitters anymore. I can't even remember the last time I sat there shaking my leg at the table, you know? Like, everything just seems so much better. And I'm not saying, you know, like if you smoke weed, like you don't have to quit. But a lot of the videos really helped me realize that there's a lot more to life than just being stoned all the time, even if you think that it might be helping you, which it might. I mean, don't get me wrong, there's people out there that have like diseases and it really helps. But there's a lot more to life than just sitting down and smoking weed all the time. I can do things now, you know? Oh boy. 18 minutes long, almost 19. Well, if you made it this far, I really appreciate it. And if you're thinking about quitting weed and you're looking at videos like this just like I was, I hope that I helped you in any sort of way. Like, the other videos really helped me. And I'm really, really, really happy that I quit. And I don't think I'll ever smoke weed ever again. Like, I've been offered weed, like a lot of my family smokes weed, and like it was just Thanksgiving, and I was offered weed at both Thanksgiving dinners, and I turned it down both times, and that made me feel really, really, really good. That made me feel pretty proud of myself. So I'll end it now before I just go off on a tangent, but thank you so much for listening. I do really appreciate it, and I hope you have a really good day. Bye. You like that? You weirdo.